Hi everybody, I am on Shaliocho, Little Iocho, or Lame Island, whatever name you call it. It is just a beautiful place. There's also a lot of trash here. That's actually why I'm here. I don't know if you remember Zabways from this video. I became friends with them after working on the project, and they invited me over here to their company picnic, but instead of going out somewhere and just, doing a little hike with their team building exercises, instead they decided to come here and clean up a beach. So we went to the Shaliocho Visitor Center, and we had a orientation and presentation by these two great people here, and afterwards we went and we cleaned up the beach, took a bunch of trash off. During the presentation, they talked about a lot of really interesting and important things. Basically that, a lot of the household trash, the stuff that we consume, it ends up in the ocean. And this might not even be something that you're consciously doing. In fact, most of it isn't things that you're consciously doing. For example, you may use a plastic bottle and you put it in the recycle, and still from the recycle it gets disposed of in an improper way in a landfill that's too close to a river or the ocean, and then it all gets into the ocean anyway, even though you disposed of it properly. And so, of course, the solution to this, besides building landfills in better places and making sure everything gets recycled, is using less, just using less stuff. So part of the exercise for this event was that we tried to live 24 hours without any disposable products. So when we came to Shaliocho, we brought our own water bottles, we brought our own cups, we brought our own dishes and utensils like chopsticks and spoons and things like that. So whenever we'd go to a restaurant to eat, if they didn't have any washable products, like if they were using disposable chopsticks, for example, we would just say, "What? Hold it. We brought our own. Check them out." So that was great. And unfortunately, I lost. I lost the challenge. This morning for breakfast, when, going around trying to find food, I was unable to find any food that didn't come pre-packaged in a little box, a little plastic box. That kind of highlights how difficult it is. Despite how much we want to use less garbage, we still live in a system that is designed around creating a lot of garbage and using just a lot of resources. This isn't something that really even an individual can solve. This is a systemic problem. This is the problem of capitalism, really, where we've created a profit motive to use more garbage. It is more profitable and in a sense better for the shop owner to use these disposable products and just throw them away after each use than it is for them to hire an extra person to collect these dishes and wash them for the customers. And that's, at its core, the problem with our economic system. The trash and the pollution and the chemicals and all of the byproducts from our industry and from our manufacturing are not included in the cost of the problem. Sort of industrialists and people who control capital, they have the right, apparently, to just push all of these problems onto future generations and not actually account for them. Although clean drinking water is basically free, we've created this whole entire industry of drinking bottled water. And for all of the stores that sell bottled water, they have a profit incentive to not offer you free water, because then you won't buy bottled water. And for big companies who control a lot of the water rights around the world, it's sort of in their interest to prevent the development of good, clean drinking water systems in countries, and to reduce the efficiency and reduce consumer confidence in drinking like clean water from the tap. The entire system is sort of built on the consumption of more products, and in an even bigger way, it's built on the consumption of disposable products, of products that you use once and then throw away, which is, in a bizarre, ironic situation, these single-use products that we just use once and throw away are actually built of these indestructible materials. So that bottled water you have to, drink half a liter of water in and just throw away, it's actually going to last hundreds of years. The same with the plastic bag that has an average life cycle of 7 seconds before it becomes trash. It lasts for hundreds of years. Now, there's a lot of things that you can do about that. We can consume less. My dad is a great example of that. He consumes fewer things than any person I have ever met. When he goes shopping, he carries these canvas bags around with him to put his groceries in. And the canvas bags he uses now are the same canvas bags that he used 30 years ago when I used to go shopping with him as a kid. And when they get dirty, he just washes them. And yeah, they look like crap. They kind of look like old, dirty bags, even though they're washed. But he doesn't care, because the point is not to look fashionable in the latest seasonal bags or whatever you carry. The point is to just use less. And so he does a very good job of that. I wish that I consumed as few products as my dad did. I guess in my dad does. I guess in some way I really look up to him for his ability to not get sucked into this repeated cycle of being a consumer, using new products, throwing them away. He really gets a lot of life out of everything that he buys. He always buys used when he can, and he basically gets higher quality items that last a lot longer. And I know that not everybody's in an economic position to do that. Not everybody can buy expensive things that will last a really long time. That's actually part of the systemic problem that we have, is we created a system where it's really pushing people to consume more often and consume a lot of small things instead of just having one thing that works and they keep it for the rest of their life. If your car lasted for 100 years without really any problems, then you wouldn't buy a new one. And the same goes for your refrigerator. In refrigerators, the circuit boards in them are very, very small and underrated for the amount of power that a refrigerator uses. So nowadays, a modern refrigerator is only going to last 5 to 10 years before that board needs to be replaced. And of course, the company isn't going to replace that board. They're going to sell you a new refrigerator. It doesn't have to be that way, though. In Israel, we have a refrigerator from the 1920s that we still use at my aunt's place. It's from the 1920s. It's almost 100 years old, and it still works fine. In fact, it works better than all of the new ones. We've gone, at the little place they have there, the hut, they keep 2 refrigerators, and the new ones keep breaking. They've gone through, in the last 10 years, they've gone through like 3 of the new refrigerators, but the one from 1920, we just keep using it and using it because it was built in an era before planned obsolescence. It was built in an era before things had to break, before everything was about consumption. And this is sort of the systemic problem that we're dealing with now. So yes, it's great if you can consume less. Yes, it's great if you come out here and clean up things on the beach. It's great if you can carry around a a metal straw or a glass straw and use that instead of using a plastic straw. Those are all really good things to do, but it's not going to be fast enough in order to save the oceans and the skies from this catastrophe that we have created. We're going to need something more radical, an actual change in the system itself, because right now there's a profit motive to create more and more trash. It is cheaper for companies to create trash, to create waste, than it is to create long-lasting renewable products. There is a profit motive to make things that are going to break. There's a profit motive to make things that are single-use, and our entire society is built around this kind of situation. So I'm not really offering any solutions in this video. I apologize for that, but maybe somebody watching this is smarter than me. Maybe somebody is more influential than me and more politically involved and can get it done. I'm a foreigner here. I don't even have the right to vote, so even if there was some kind of measure that I could vote on to change something environmentally, it's not something that I would be capable of doing. Which is why I'm just, complaining to you guys in a video. Even though I picked up, 2 big bags of trash off the beach, I'm still gonna go to the grocery store and I'm gonna buy things that come in these little shrink wrap containers, because that's just what's available for sale. I'm just, no matter how much maybe I don't want to be, I'm still a consumer in a capitalist society.